Hey everybody, this is Sarah Lake, the Dominican Tia. How are you? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to cut up a whole chicken and get 8 servings of meat out of that one chicken. So I typically will take the bones that I have left from the chicken and I put them in a little bag, and I do the same thing with the chicken wings. 2 separate bags, one for the bones, one for the chicken wings, and when I accumulate enough, I'll roast the bones, and then with the chicken wings, I'll make chicken wings. Go ahead and get your knife sharpened. I'm using my Wusthof knives, and I've sharpened both of them. So basically, you want to go ahead and get your biggest roasting pan and go ahead and put your cutting board in the roasting pan. I highly recommend that you have a red cutting board or a specific cutting board that you use exclusively to cut raw meat on. This way you never run a chance of cross-contamination, and when you're done with all of this, all the things you use to prep this chicken, go ahead and run it through the dishwasher. So as you see, I took my little bags, opened them, put them to the side in the sink so that I could go ahead. Now here is the chicken. My daughter went to Kroger and she bought this chicken for $1.09 per pound. She paid just a little over $5 for the chicken. So we're gonna get 8 servings of chicken out of this $5 chicken. So that's going to be less than a serving per chicken. So just go ahead and put your cutting board inside of your roasting pan, get your knives ready, and then you just want to take the packaging off the chicken and just put it to the side. And let's just go ahead then and we'll open up the cavity of the chicken. Yes, I said the cavity, the inside cavity. Pull out whatever's in there. Sometimes you get gizzards and hearts and liver and a neck, but in this case we just had a neck and a heart. So I put that to the side for the things for my dog, because I do make food for my dogs. They get chicken and rice with veggies, so I'll take all the little pieces of leftover meat and so forth and use them. So what you're going to do is you run your finger down the center, and that's the breastbone, and then you just cut a slice right along the breastbone, and you want your knife to cut along the breastbone, and then you pull. And you notice how I'm cutting away from me. So when the knife is pulling, it's pushing away from me. And that's how it's going and scraping against the bone to get all of the meat off of that breastbone. So you scrape, and with the knife you push. Scrape against the bone, push with the knife. And as you keep doing that, you finally get to the end. Like right now, you see all the meat is off the bone, and all I'm doing is cutting through the skin. You just cut through the skin and put that piece of chicken to the side. I have another pan in the sink, and just put that in the other pan. You do that to the next breast. So now what I'm doing is I'm actually harvesting the leg. So all you do is you crack the leg of the chicken, and it'll crack at the joint. This way you could easily find it and just cut right through the joint. Pull the skin back, because you see this tendon right here. What you could do is just take your knife and put a couple of slices through it, because this tendon is tough. That'll soften the tendon, and then it'll help your meat marinate faster too. And now we're going to go ahead and do that on the other side. Now we're going to go ahead and harvest the chicken wings again. Just pull the wings back and crack them at the joint. Easy to identify where the joint is because it'll be loose. And then go ahead and cut it. And so what I like to do with the chicken wing is I cut them in half. And you know what's funny is when you go out to a restaurant to eat and they give you a chicken wing, really you're getting gypped, because they say, hey, this is 2 pieces of chicken wing. This is 1 chicken wing cut in 2 pieces. And I think that chicken wings are super expensive. They're like $3.99 to $4.99 a pound. So what I do is I save them in a little bag, and when I have enough chicken wings, then I'll just make chicken wings, and we could get chicken wings. And this is a great way to get them for $1.09 to 90 or 99 cents to $1.09. And you just do that with the second wing, and you see all the meat is cut off that breastbone. So you could try and scrape it off, but I prefer to just leave it because it's easy to get cut when you're trying to do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the thigh. Again, I just crack it. Go ahead and crack it right at the junction, at the joint, and then you just run your knife through. And with this, you want to start running your knife against the rib cage so you get all of the meat that comes with that thigh, because we're trying to harvest all of this meat so we can get 8 good servings of meat. And so here it is, and you just cut through the joint, and here you've got this beautiful piece of chicken thigh, and we're just going to put that to the side. And you do that on the other thigh. And so what we're going to do, you just crack it, and go ahead and just cut through it. And again, you want to scrape that knife along the breast against the rib cage of the chicken, and then just simply cut. And your knife is sharp, so it's going to do all the work for you. You really want your knife sharp doing all the work, and just put that piece to the side. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and separate the breast bone from the rib cage and the back of the chicken, because these are the bones that I'm going to use to go ahead and roast and make chicken broth. I'm going to make chicken stock, chicken broth, whichever way you want to call it, but I do roast them and then I boil them. So I'll make a video for you guys on how to make chicken stock with all of these bones. I think I need maybe 1 or 2 more chickens and I'll have enough bones to roast. So, you just cut through it. And again, every time you're using the chef's knife to chop down on something, move your free hand away, because you definitely don't ever want to cut into your fingers. Now, I'm huge on taking all the gristle and the skin off. I really don't like all of that excess chicken fat, only because I'm trying to lose weight. So I just pull all of the gristle off and I put it into a little pile where, that stuff goes into the stuff from my dog's food. And then I'm going to go ahead, and the last thing I'm going to do is, these chickens, the machine eviscerated chickens, they don't take the kidneys out, and I hate the flavor of the kidneys in my chicken stock. So you just run your finger down by the rib cage, and then you'll find an indentation as your thumb slips through, and you pull up, you'll pull out the kidneys. The chickens are small, so these are small kidneys. I just throw them into the little pile of stuff for my dogs. And so that's how you go ahead and completely finish eviscerating the chicken. And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this up into small pieces at this point, because again, when I'm roasting these chicken bones, I don't want these massive bones. I want the bones to roast quickly. So I just cut them up, and then, you don't want to have like a 25-gallon stock pot if you don't need it. And right now I'm just going to take the chicken. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that it's still all together. And I'm going to go ahead and take the meat off of the chicken back. Not the meat, I'm taking the skin off of the chicken back. So again, when I roast this and I go ahead and I make my stock, I really don't want a whole lot of grease in it. So, it just makes it a little easier if you could just get rid of it. And plus, I put it into the pile for my dog. So just go ahead and chop it into small pieces, and like I said, every time you're bringing that chef's knife down on the bones like that, just simply move your other hand away. This way, there's no way that you could possibly chop off a hand. That's really an important part of your knife skills and being able to safely, go ahead and use the knife. And particularly if you have small kids around, you really want to train them as they're getting, as your children are learning how to cook and use a knife. You really want to train them on safe knife skills. This way you'll never have to run to the emergency room. Okay, and then you just take the bones off the board and you push them off to the side. And I just put them straight into the bag the other bag that I'm already collecting bones in. This way I don't have to do it twice. It makes cleanup easier. And then you just take the chicken breastbone and you do the same thing. You just cut it up into small pieces. I wrangle with it, and I, cut some, break some of it with my hands, chop it with the knife. Go ahead and get all your aggression out. Somebody bothered you at the office, go chop, chop, chop. You bothered me too much. So this is really a great way to get through that. So at this point, we are done cutting this chicken. And I just wanted to show you all of the meat that we get from this chicken. So actually, before we do that, let me show you how to do your wings. I just cut the tips off the wings, and my dogs love the wing tips as snacks. So that goes to the dog pile also. They can eat those little wing tips either cooked or raw. It's okay. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how to remove the skin from the chicken. You've got that little extra piece of skin on the drumlet. Pull the skin, put the knife against the chicken wing, and then you just push the knife against the chicken wing, which is away from you, and pull the skin, and it'll rotate and you get the skin off. These are great for chicken lollipops if you're going to make chicken lollipops, but you cannot get skinless chicken wings anywhere on the market because they don't sell them. And again, just do the same thing with the other wing. Just, just take off the wing tip, cut it in half, pull the skin, put the knife blade away from you, pull on the skin as you go against the wing, and that'll rotate it automatically and get the skin off of it. And then you're going to have your skinless chicken wing. These will marinate really, really quickly. They'll pick up any flavor really quickly. They're delicious, grilled, boiled, fried. They just really make great little appetizers if you have friends over, and they're just amazing. So that's how you do the boneless wings. Now I'm going to show you how to debone the thigh meat. This thigh meat is amazing. Actually, I'm sorry, this is the chicken breast. So I'm going to show you how to go ahead and harvest the chicken tenders from the chicken breast. Now, the chicken tenders are attached to the breast meat, and you could tell the difference because the chicken tenders have the ridging on the meat, and as opposed to the breast meat is smooth. So all I'm going to do is put it down on the cutting board, take the knife, and run my knife across it to separate them. And it's that easy to go ahead and separate the chicken breast from the chicken tender, and then just cut through that chicken tender to separate it. And then there you go, you've got the chicken tenders. So if your kids love like McNuggets or chicken tenders, you can cut those up in small pieces for your kids. Now if you notice, the chicken breast, the lower end is thin, the top end is thick. So just press your hand up on top of it, slide the knife into the chicken breast, and cut off a medallion so that then it's the same thickness all across the board. And your chicken breast is going to cook evenly, and it'll maintain its moisture this way. And so now what you've got is you've got the chicken breast, the chicken medallion, and the chicken wing. And just from this half of chicken breast, you actually have 2 full servings of chicken, which is fantastic. So now the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you all of the different pieces, or how I came up with these 8 servings. So we're actually going to go ahead and debone the chicken thigh, and all you have to do is, you see the bone that's right in the middle. What we're going to do is we're going to run the knife on either side of the bone. So you start just right up against the bone, run your knife right by it, and then you do the same thing on the other side, right? Run your knife along the other end, and just move your, I just turn it so that I'm always pushing the knife away from me. Put the knife in underneath the skin to get the bone out, and then just run it down the bottom so that you could make sure you don't want to keep the joint piece in there. And there you go, you've got this beautiful boneless chicken thigh. All of the seasoning or the marinade will get right on it. It's flavorful. It'll stay juicy. If you've got a recipe that's a long cooking recipe like chicken and rice, you want to use the chicken thigh and the chicken leg pieces in that type of recipe, because the chicken leg takes a long time to tenderize, but the chicken thigh tenderizes quickly, but it never dries out. So if you use chicken breast in a recipe like that, then it's going to dry out. Now here are all of the pieces. So I deboned both chicken thighs. So you've got 2 chicken thighs, 2 chicken legs. So that's 4 servings of meat right there. And then if you add in the breast pieces, the 2 breasts, the medallions, and then the 4 chicken strips, the 4 chicken tenders, that's 8 servings of meat, because each breast and medallion is a serving, and then the chicken strips. So even if you have a family that has a great appetite, you know what? This is 1 chicken that's deboned, that is cut up, and this is 8 servings of meat. So even if you guys like a lot of meat, family of 4, this is, if you like a lot of meat, there's, a meal for family, the meat for the meal, and it's only $5, and everybody can have their specific piece. The kids can get they can get their tenders, somebody can get the breast, somebody can get the legs. Everybody gets what they want, and it's only $5. Thank you so much for watching my video. This is Sarah Lake, the Dominican Tia, and this is how you cut up a whole chicken. Hey, follow me on Twitter at SarahLake123. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel, Sarah Lake. Put any comments below, any videos that you want me to do for you. Thank you very much. I appreciate. Con mucho amor. Mwah, mwah, mwah.